And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a little card game from Plaid Hat Games called BattleLands, Aftermath Edition. Now, I don't know that there's any other BattleLands. This is the only one I know of. Aftermath is another big post-apocalyptic mice game, kind of in the same universe, I think, as their Mice and Mystics style game. So this uses that theme for a card game. This is a card game for 3 to 5 players in which you're going to be fighting with cards over battles. It's not really a new kind of idea. Here's how it works. Each player is going to pick one of the 5 factions. You'll notice that these factions are not completely the same. You're going to have different units that you're going to have in your hand. They'll have different strengths of the initial starting units. 7 is the highest strength, 2 is the lowest. And then they'll have a melee, a range symbol. Some of them have both. Some of them have a special ability that often happens when they're played. And so you're going to start your hand with this, and you'll put this in front of you just so everyone knows what color you are. The game takes place over 2 wars. Each war is made of 3 battles. So you're going to put these locations down, and these locations are going to be worth a certain number of points, 5, 6, or 7 points. So you put 3 of these down, and then you'll put down items here equal to 1 less than the number of players. So I have it set up here for a 5-player game. So at the beginning of a battle, you'll turn over the top card. So here it's Abigail Lane, and you'll also turn up over all these cards that are here. Now, in this battle, there's going to be a winner, and it's going to be the highest strength that players play in front of themselves. And so players are going to take turns playing unit cards down. So let's say this is my hand here. Maybe I'll lead off with Thumper. That's pretty strong. That's a 7. And I'm going to put him down. You're going to have 2 rows. You're going to have a row for your melee units, and you're going to have a row for your ranged units. So if I have someone with both, I could put the person in the front row, or I could put them in the back row, while the battle gunner, I can only put them into my back row. And you'll be building them from left to right. Many times when you play a card, there will be something on it. So this says when playing this unit to your ranged row, return a unit in your front melee row to your hand. Now, why would I do that? Well, maybe I want to put that card back in my hand. I'm not going to use it. Or like this Fly Swarm, which makes each player flip the last unit in their row. I put this down, play this card, put it back in my hand, play this down, make everyone flip their cards again. So many times cards will be flipped by the cards, in which case their strength isn't going to count. Now, as you're playing these cards, you're going to have to use the same cards for all 3 battles. So you might want to save some for a future battle. Also, if you say, I'm done playing cards, you can pass and take one of these cards. I might want to take a piece of equipment like this tail nail, where in the future I just play this on top of somebody, and at the end of the battle this card comes back in my hand, but it gives them 3 strength. Or maybe I want to take this glass launcher, which when I play this, moves this unit to my ranged row, and then everyone returns the last unit in their melee row to their hand. Or maybe I want to play this Tox Grenade, which looks like a rotten egg to me. Each player discards one of their units with strength 3 or less from play. But probably I would want to just take this new unit, Keeper of the Pact. This card can't be flipped. Now, when you take these cards, they're going to be worth points at the end of the game. So this one's actually worth a negative point, while this one here, the tail nail, not as good, but is worth 2 points at the end of the game. As I said, there's 1 card here, less than the number of players. So once the 4th person has taken one in a 5-player game, then the 5th player just can keep playing cards that they decide to pass. At that point, whoever has the highest strength will win this card and put it face out in front of them, where it will be worth that many points. Any cards that players have played or discarded, you can't use them again for this war. You'll reveal the next battle and do the same thing. Ooh, a cat. Or, ooh, Scarcross. He looks good. He can't even be flipped. That's pretty neat. Now this one here shows a secret symbol, this key in the corner. Whenever one of those comes up, players must take a card from their hand and stick it underneath their key here. And at the end of the game, everyone will reveal these, and whoever has the highest value is going to get plus 3 points, and whoever has the lowest value will lose 3 points, which can make a difference. There's 2 wars, 3 battles each. After the 3rd war, you look at all your cards and see how many points they have from the equipment cards you picked up. to the territories that you've won, plus that +3, -3 bonus, and whoever has the most points is the winner. There's a lot of cool artwork on these cards, and I know it's probably some of it's passed over from the Aftermath game itself, but I really like all this cool stuff, this futuristic apocalyptic mice thing, the hornet drones, the roach swarm. That's gross. I like it. It gives you this sense of this filled-in world. The card quality is okay. I wish they had been linen finished cards, especially since you're playing them so much, but it is pretty easy again to tell the difference between the colors, I think, and the whole thing has a pretty strong theme and fits in this box, which is much bigger than the game needs to be, but that's for shelf space, of course. So I like BattleLands, and I mention that because I want to say a few negative things. First of all, the gameplay itself is very generic. The lands are generic. Don't get me wrong, the artwork for the lands and all the characters is really cool, and there's this theme there, but the gameplay itself is like, I've seen this sort of thing before, where you play cards and whoever has the most power wins it. The biggest, one that's similar to this would be Smash Up to some degree. Now, what this does is it slowly lets you build your hand as you get these items and the new characters, and that's cool. But that would be cooler if the game was slightly longer. It's almost too short. I know I very rarely say that about a game, but this one feels a little bit like it ends before it begins. It says on here 30 to 60 minutes. I can't imagine it taking that long. To me, this game is going to be a much faster 20-minute game for the most part, maybe 30 minutes at most. That being said, I still enjoy it a lot. There's a lot of things I do like. Hey, pull out of a battle, grab a really good card, go for victory points. That secret thing, which I was like, nah, secrets aren't going to matter much. Oh, they do. They really matter. At the end of the game, that +3, -3, I've definitely seen it swing games. So I like that concept. I also like the melee versus ranged. There's no thematic reasoning for that. There's a lot of games where that does matter. Here you're just putting them in two different rows. It feels like there's more cards that turn over the melee cards that make them flip over than the ranged ones, so it's usually better to put someone in a ranged row. The factions are somewhat, they're very asymmetrical. They seem balanced. I guess they are. But when you play it, you look at it, okay, I have a lot of ranged. When I pick up something, maybe I want to pick up something that helps me in that regard. So there's some good decision making in this game, but it's also very, very light, like really light. And when you go into it with that mindset, like just play someone, I think it probably plays pretty good with all the player counts, but I think 5 might be the best. It's very enjoyable. And again, the artwork really does kick it up a notch. I like it a lot. So that's BattleLands. Check it out. Dice Tower Judgment approved.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.